Hi, we're back again with another short video clip on the history of the development of the doctrine of the Trinity. Today we want to talk about a little word that has caused a lot of controversy in the history of Christianity. That word is filioque, spelled Filioque. It is Latin for "and from the Son." That's right. There's four words gets translated there. "And from the Son." And we'll explain what that means here in just a moment. But the filioque is a big deal in the history of Christianity. So what is the filioque? Well, it was a word that was added to the Nicene Creed, specifically concerning the work of the Holy Spirit. The Nicene Creed is very short when describing the Holy Spirit. It says that the Spirit proceeds from the Father. That's the way it is written in its original writing that came out of the Council of Constantinople in 381. Now, in the West, in the Western Latin Christianity, they added a word to the Creed that says that the Spirit proceeds from the Father, filioque. The Spirit proceeds from the Father and from the Son. It's called the idea of dual procession, that the Spirit comes from both the Father and the Son in the West, while in the East the Spirit proceeds from the Father only. The East has an ordering of the Trinity. We call it the taxis. Taxis, not taxis, but taxis. It is the ordering that there's Father, then Son, then Holy Spirit. Not subordinate, but ordered. The West, on the other hand, as we've just looked at Augustine, the West sees the unified divine essence. And again, there's the triangle. So if the Father is the top of the triangle and the Son is this hand over here, then this point of the triangle is the Spirit, and there's a direct line of connection from both the Father and the Son to the Spirit. So given that, the unity of the essence sees the Spirit being sent from both the Father and the Son. This word filioque, is an addition to the traditional and historical Nicene Creed. Now, how did it come about to add to the creed? Which, usually adding to creeds is a big deal. In 589, in Spain, the Council of Toledo, not Toledo, Ohio, Toledo's a city in Spain. The Council of Toledo, Spain is one of the earliest documented cases where the Spirit is said to proceed from the Father and from the Son, filioque. This was to safeguard against the Arianism that was still present in Spain in that day. If the Spirit proceeds from the Son as well as from the Father, then the Son is not inferior. So it was originally used to safeguard the deity of the Son. Because if the Spirit comes from the Son, just like he comes from the Father, then the Son is not less than the Father. Add this, and that Augustine's teaching on the Spirit as the bond of love between the Father and Son resulted in the so-called Athanasian Creed, which really wasn't written by Athanasius. It's Latin in its origin, but it further cemented the idea of the filioque. Add to this the confusion and misunderstandings of doctrines where each side misrepresented the other, and there was going to be trouble. And the trouble finished itself up in the year 1054 when the Eastern Bishop of Constantinople excommunicated the Pope, and the Pope excommunicated the Bishop of Constantinople, which created the Great Schism splitting East and West that remains split to this day. Now, the filioque in the West means that the Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son, while in the East, the Spirit proceeds from the Father only. Now, you're probably thinking, this is really ticky-tacky. But remember, this is due in no large part, in all large part, rather, to the way that the East and the West see the Father and the Son. The East sees the Father, the Son, the Spirit in an ordered monarchy. Well, I take that back. That's not exactly clear. They see the Father, the Son, and the Spirit in an ordered structure. Some of the Easterners see the monarch as the Father. Some of them see the monarch as the Godhead. So that's not what I said before was not clear. But in the West, there is the one Godhead made up of the relations of the Father, Son, and Spirit. So in the West, it's perfectly obvious for the Spirit to proceed from both Father and Son. It's not an ordering. It's a flat structure where Father, Son, and Spirit are three instances of the one. Whereas in the East, you have Father, Son, and Spirit ordered, and it makes perfect sense for, to use the biblical language, that the Spirit proceeds from the Father only, but yet through the Son. And that's a problem that hasn't been resolved. The East and West still fight over that. Standing alone, it seems small, but when you see the larger belief structure underlying it, then it's not so small, because it's two completely different versions of what it means for the Trinity to be. Is it one God primarily, existing in three persons, the Western Latin Neoplatonic Augustinian view, or is it three persons constituting one God, the Eastern Cappadocian view? Well, and those Eastern, the three persons ordered Father, Son, and Spirit. Once you see that the Filioque really just puts a magnifying glass on those different models of the Trinity, then it becomes obvious that Filioque is a big deal. And the only reason that it's not a big deal today is that we don't pay attention to doctrine. If we paid more attention to doctrine and what it meant, then I think it would be imperative for us to take a stand one way or another about Filioque. But I imagine that unless you've taken a church history course or something, this is the first time you've ever heard about it. So it's a big deal in the development of the doctrine of the Trinity, and it was one of the main catalysts in dividing the church the first time between East and West. So we'll be back. That's it for the Filioque. We'll be back to discuss another topic that's much more warm-hearted here in just a little bit. So I hope you're having a good time. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.